Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. With the current state of the markets, with the current state of the economy, a lot of people are concerned. And one person who apparently is more concerned than many is Robert Kiyosaki, the famous author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. And he says that this market crash could be the biggest in history. Now this is particularly interesting. It's not that uncommon in today's market that analysts and experts come out believing that markets will crash. We've seen a lot of people suggesting this. However, Robert Kiyosaki takes it one level further than most, suggesting that the impending crash could be larger than that in 1929, which of course triggered the Great Depression in the global economy. So again, for those that don't know, Robert Kiyosaki is of course the author best known for Rich Dad Poor Dad, amongst other things, and he's claiming that there could be a large economic bubble that is bursting. Now of course, Robert Kiyosaki, as we know, has been saying things like this for quite some time. However, as the days bubble on, as more and more people start to heed this warning and agree with him, perhaps his message becomes more and more credible. And again, there is perhaps some truth and some validity behind what Robert is speaking about, saying that there could be a large crash on the way. Now he says it could be bigger than 1929, the financial crisis, of course, of that era that triggered the Great Depression. He wrote this on a post on X. He also blamed an alleged incompetent leadership in Germany, Japan and America for the potential crisis. In his post, he advised people to stay calm and said that this crisis could be an opportunity for them to acquire assets like real estate, silver, gold and Bitcoin. Be stoic and be cool no matter how turbulent things get. I will continue to acquire real estate, gold, silver and Bitcoin on sale. That's what he said in, of course, this post. So if you want to know his exact words, well, there they are, right? And Robert's been saying stuff like this for quite some time. Again, Robert has always been an advocate, for those that do not know, in buying property, in putting money in gold, silver, apparently Bitcoin as well. He is essentially quite known for this, right? This has been his thing, from his Rich Dad, Poor Dad investing style book, which people have mixed opinions on. So we already know about Robert Kiyosaki, we don't need to read this part. But there is another message from him which stands out in a similar fashion, as he also believes that millions could lose their jobs. Again, he's urging people to prepare for the layoffs and turn entrepreneur. Before we get into this one, I can say from the stuff that we've covered on this channel, Robert is speaking with some validity here. If you've been watching the videos over the last couple of months, you already know, right? A lot of big companies are laying off staff in the hundreds, sometimes thousands, sometimes tens of thousands. We are seeing workers essentially being removed from these companies at really, really large rates. And then we can talk about the federal government, but that's a different point, right? So the Rich Dad Poor Dad Entrepreneur is urging people to become entrepreneurs and find various ways to prepare for the worst case if they were concerned about losing their jobs. So the American businessman Robert Kiyosaki has warned that there will be millions of job cuts in coming years. The Rich Dad Poor Dad author urged people to become entrepreneurs, finding various ways to prepare for the potential of losing their jobs. These remarks came hours after he warned about turbulence in the financial system. In the last 2 years, millions have lost their jobs. In the next few years, millions more will lose theirs. If you're feeling like you may lose your job, be prepared now. A bad turn, or turn a bad event into a great opportunity to stop being an employee, clinging to a job and security, and become an entrepreneur, working for financial freedom, he urged. So he further insisted that he and the US President Trump were the only public figures who recommended joining a network marketing company. And that's another part, right? We don't necessarily need to speak about that, but what he is suggesting here, I believe, comes with some truth. You know, we are seeing literally hundreds of thousands of people, perhaps millions of people over the last couple of years losing their jobs. Millions of people. This is not an insubstantial effect. And if the markets do continue to move the way that they apparently are, it's likely to see more of this sort of stuff going on. And Robert brings this up in a very valid way. Now, going back to that point of the market crash, which does of course go hand in hand with this, we look at how high stocks have been in the last, say, 6, 12, 24 months, and they are at all-time highs. The AI boom, a number of factors, right? But mainly AI. We're seeing tech stocks really keep the economy, or keep the stock market at the very least, up at the minute. And a lot of people for at least months have been wondering how much of this is real growth, Or is it a bubble? Now, the thing about a bubble is they always burst. And if this is a bubble, if the growth that we're seeing at the minute is simply just temporary, a bubble, market inflation, then it is likely that we could see a big crash. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comments, guys. Is this realistic, or is Robert Kiyosaki just trying to drive more hype to people reading his books and listening to his message? Again, we've spoken about numerous experts here and companies issuing their warnings. We see it happening more and more. The market is worrying, and a lot of people are becoming more and more concerned. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, guys. Thank you, and I hope I'll see you soon.